Hey, what are YouTube, man? It's your boy. I am back again with another one. Man, I gotta find a new intro, man. Something that is enticing, you know what I mean? Like when I just get back here, I'm like, yo, 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 you know? But that one sounds a little bit corny, like, yo, 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 what the hell? Anyway, we are back on part two of the Ex-Satanist, Roger Monreal, right? Morneau, whatever, man. Roger Morneau, excellent talk. Must see Saturn's key plan. So, okay, so the whole reason, man, why I had to watch this, I told you, my homeboy I was having a conversation with my homeboy, just to give you a simple recap so that you can just go back and watch part one. If you didn't watch part one, just go back to watch part one, man. That's when I was talking about how things were between me and my ex and how things were like, it was going crazy, bro. It was going crazy because it is similar to what this guy is talking about, but I'm so glad that it never got this deep like him. Like this guy went all the way in, bro. Like for me, I think like it had to I had to like be stopped before I even get there. But the powers that are even more powerful than me, bro. Like it's crazy. Anyway, enough talking, man. Just go watch like part one, and then you'll hear a bit of my story when I'm just explaining how things were happening between me and my girl back then. And it's crazy, man. So let's go.
Not in my type of occupation. So it went from there. We got talking about spirit worship.
Did it intrigue you? Or did it make you want to find out more about what exactly he was talking about?
Yeah.
Alright, so let me tell you something about my girl again here, right? Like there's a day we used to talk about a lot of spiritual stuff because like, bro, everybody I think like who is Christian oriented or was being a Christian, who was born in a Christian household, you would want to have somebody who is a prayer warrior, somebody who prays with you and prays for you. So if you have that kind of person, like it gives you that sense of like, man, I'm living my best life. I have the right person. Everything is just smooth, you know? So it came to a time when she used to pray for me. And then I was like, okay, cool. I'm happy, man, because she's praying for me. That's what I want in my woman, like from my woman. Like I need my woman to be a prayer warrior. Like that's when my mother would know, like, my son is safe now because he's with a prayer warrior. There's something like that, you know what I mean? So she pulled up with me, man. Like we were talking about all the spiritual stuff, and I telling her like, all right, so since you're saying that you're depressed and all that, I think it's time for you to just think about reverting your life, reverting your path from the walk world and go back to church. If you don't want to go to church directly, but start with praying and finding God yourself, because I can pray for you, but my prayers are not going to be answered the same way as you are going to do it yourself. If when you pray by yourself, God is going to answer to you directly, right? Unlike when you pray for someone else, the prayer is not that. Yes, it's a strong prayer, but it's not as strong as if you pray yourself. So I told her something like that, and then she was like, oh no, all this church things and whatever. And then she started praying, but like, I don't know, bro, because like we are like world apart, like thousands of miles apart, so I really don't know what kind of God she was praying to or what she was praying to and how she was praying to, because she was telling me like she had to light some candles, she had to use the seed, is it the side or seed or that essence that the Indians use the stick, and then you bend the stick, and then you start to do this, right? So she's using that type of vibe, right? And then like that's when things got a little bit weird for me. I'm like, hey, I don't know, man. Cause she'll be like, yo, I need to burn this for myself. I need to burn this for my brother. I need to burn this for my for me because I need to communicate. So I know like this is something that I don't need to talk about, but it's something that is also part of my journey, because once you are with someone, when you're with that person, whatever happens between you guys or in your relationship, it is your journey too, right? You might not be the one going through it, might not be the one experiencing it, but it is your journey too. So it affects you as much as it affects the person, but maybe at a lesser, angle than them, but at the same time, it affects you. Anyway, let's get back to the video.
So, he said the supposed spirits of the dead that you're talking with are demon spirits. You're fallen angels. You're beautiful beings.
Just set it out, just like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
It didn't make you uneasy when he said they were
Well,
just
it shocked you a little bit, something that you first hear mentioned to you. He said, you guys have got a great future ahead of you. Because we've been told, the high priest of our society, secret society, has been told that the master has very special plans for you to do.
Now, what did he mean by the master?
Satan. And we were interested to hear more about it.
Did you hear what you say? Say his master. The master meaning that Satan had like a lot of plans for them, because the more people he captures, the more people that are going to fight against God's plan. So there's a lot of things that happen behind, like it's not that's why I once saw this video where this lady was saying, don't let everybody pray for you, because you don't know who they're praying to. When they say God, they don't mean every God, bro. They don't mean the same God as you. When you pray, you say God, right? But who knows which God you're praying to? Nobody knows. So it's a little bit tricky, man.
And he told us, he says, look, we worship spirits. We worship Lucifer and all his angels. They're just as beautiful as they did before they were cast out of heaven. He says there was a misunderstanding in the whole thing. He says among the inhabitants of the galaxies. And he says our master was misunderstood. And God did not bear with him like he does with people that make mistakes today. So we're in a warfare, good against evil. And we happen to be the evil ones, but we're not that bad. He says, I look at this business between the forces of good and evil. He says, you believe in one person believes in God, and everyone believes in Lucifer. It's like politics.
See how they try to just slide it in? It's like politics.
So the great controversy is real. And you've heard someone talk about it that's on the other side.
And to these people, they are sold to the fact that Christ will not return to this planet with power and great glory. He's going to abdicate all claims to the planet, because the high priest once said that Christ will abdicate all claim to the planet because he knows that it is lawfully and rightfully Satan's. And at that time, he says, Lucifer, you mentioned Lucifer a lot of times, but he mentions Satan also. He says, the master, usually they like to talk about the master will resurrect his people from the graves.
Now, George is telling you all this, or the high priest?
George.
Okay, when the evening wound down, and you're putting a cap on all that, You guys had consumed some alcohol.
Yeah.
And did you feel like that there was kind of a one-shot deal? You didn't know if it ever happened again? What happened after
Well,
that?
he said, no. I said, listen, guys. He said, I like to have you, he says, meet some of our people. What about next week, Wednesday evening? I'll pick you up at your place and...
Yo, every time when I'm making a video, I remember on part 1, the light was acting up and then it switched off. And again, now it is switching off. It is crazy.
You're invited to one of our services.
Services? Like a church service?
Yeah, something similar like that. It's a testimonial to the spirits, well, how the spirits have blessed your life. So, when we left there, I said to myself, this guy's half drunk. I'm not going to hear from him again, you know. But it was true that Wednesday night came, he was there with his big Lincoln, step in, and we went to one of the most beautiful area of Montreal. And the place was a mansion. A mansion is usually very large, we call it.
Bro, 2 weeks ago, I saw this video on YouTube by this kid who said, remember during the time of the vines, you know, a lot of kids, they left and they went to LA trying to pursue their dreams and everything like that. And then one day they were noticed by, actually not like noticed, they met this guy, right, when they were outside, like, you know, after shooting their video or something like that. And then the guy said, would you want to come and join the Elise or something like that, you know? And they show some interest in their craft, but they've never met the guy, right? Then fast forward, he said, okay, if you're interested to join the party, then we're going to send you an invitation. And then they just departed without asking the house number. Weird enough, they sent an invite to them without even telling the dude where they lived. You know, they sent them an invite via mail, right? And a letter. So when he opened the letter, say, oh, you've been invited. This is the address. Pull up to the address tonight. We got a party, you know? So he had to go to that party, and there like 2 or 3 people were saying the similar stories on YouTube, which is crazy, bro. Like, I just watched that video in passing, and then like the weird part is like he kind of explains similar antics that are happening, that are said or allegedly said that they happen in Diddy's parties, which is which is a lot weird, right? I didn't tell you where I live, and you're sending me a letter. How do you know where I live? It doesn't make sense. So similar to this, man, let's go.
The place was a mansion. A mansion is usually very large, we call it.
And the place, like I said, the place that he was invited to, it was a mansion in a beautiful place. In what? In LA. And then a lot of weird things were happening there. Alright? A lot of weird things were happening there, bro.
A small mansion. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful place.
Roger, your friend George took you and Roland to this mansion where people worshipped the demons.
Mm-hmm.
What was it like there? What kind of people were there?
Well, it was a big surprise for me, as I kind of made up in my mind an idea that they were going to be rough-looking characters. But as we entered the place, I was amazed to see that they were all very well dressed, well mannered, and that a lot of the people, as we were being introduced to people, were professionals, doctors, attorneys, a lot of business people. And see what they had? They had a praise session to the gods, which is the spirit counselors, which are in charge of legions of spirits, demon spirits. And they talk about what the Lord of their lives has done for them, because they call on particular spirits, like the god Nehushtan, which you read in 2 King about. The Israelites worshipped the golden serpent that Moses had made. Well, behind the spirit worship, behind that, they were worshiping the serpent. They were actually worshiping this spirit Nehushtan. And the same spirit Nehushtan is, the priest was telling us, that the medical doctor that was telling us how he was making operations that had never been made before, because people had to be awake, have no feeling. He was able to, carry on the surgeries that had not been done before. But the spirits would give that capacity to be able to operate without people feeling any pain. And also without no problem with the blood, because as he would cut his incision, because incisions, everything open with no blood running. So he could do the work that has not been done before. So.
Now, I recall reading in your book that at this praise worship service they would sing hymns. Why would they sing hymns in a demon worship?
Yeah, this was kind of a big surprise to me when that took place. The priest said, "Hey, let's go down to the worship room of the gods and have a praise session, a singing session." So we go down there, and what did they think? You think they pass around? Church hymnals, Christian church hymnals. And I couldn't believe this. I said, "What's his business?" So the priest says, "Well, now," he says, "for those of you that are new, let me tell you that this is the most feasible way," he says, "to please the spirits. It's to deride Christ and his people, and his church and all that." So they sing out of Christian hymnals.
They didn't sing Christian words to the hymns, however.
Well, they changed a lot of them. Yeah.
Not for the
It's a form of blasphemy. Such as you see today in the rock music world. You see the entertainers, they have these crosses. The ladies got earrings, crosses. The guys got the cross. This is a form of blasphemy, a form of deriding Christ. You see, spirits cause.
Satan desires people to deride Christ and their appearance, actions, and behavior. That is the same thing that is happening right now in the music industry with the Lil Uzi Vert, with the people covering their eyes, with the people, with the Madonnas, with the Kanye's claiming to be God, and Kanye actually came out. He even said that he sold his soul to the devil, and at least it came with a few toys, right? And these others, and Chris Brown also mentioned, I think in Yellow Tap, right? Yellow Tap, he said hold on. It's my allegiance. Point 1. I'm gonna play my allegiance. After 3 a.m., we're getting freaky. After 3 a.m. And this time, remember the first thing that you said is he's about to pledge his allegiance, right? Point number 1. After 3 a.m., right, we're getting freaky. Had a meeting with the devil last week. Couldn't believe what he said to me right there. You get it? Bro, he just told us the whole story here, similar to what this guy has just been talking about. Look at this.
This is a form of blasphemy, a form of deriding Christ. You see, spirits cause the people to do that, to find pleasure in wearing this type of emblem, which is the cross is the emblem of the crucifixion of Christ to the Christians.
So what were your impressions the first time you went down into that worship room?
Well, it was, we'd been there maybe a half a dozen times, and the high priest told us after the meeting was over he wanted to talk to us, my friend and I. So after most of that left, he says,
It's weird, right?
"The master of my life has revealed to me that it is time for you people to become acquainted with the worship room of the gods. Well, we started to move toward a beautiful grand staircase. Beautiful. The banister was huge. It was massive, and the wrought iron work that they had done was super. The beautiful decorations on the walls, the chandelier on the first landing. See, that was the first landing. You go down about 8 or 10 steps, and you had the first landing. It was huge and beautiful. The light arrangement was the nicest I had ever seen in my life. When we got into this sanctuary area, it wasn't very brightly lit, but everything was magnified. The beauty of certain things, like a lot of the things were gold plated or gold trimmed. See, the little altars where they had the spirits that had materialized. They photographed them, and then they had paintings made of them. And there was probably about maybe 100 of those around the place.
Sort of like a shrine.
Yeah, and underneath there was a little altar where you have incense and things that they would use in their prayer sessions and things like that, devotions to certain spirits. And some of the objects in there, the priest said, were solid gold. It was a unique experience to see that.
So how did you feel when you walked into that room?
I felt that these people had power, and they had a lot of it.
Did that attract you?
Yes and no.
You had mixed feelings about it.
I had mixed feelings about it. Yeah. Because to a certain extent, things looked so good, it sounded so good to us. But you see, I'd been brought up in a Christian home where my parents had told us we were 8 children in the family, and especially the older ones. My dad says, well, if you get involved in wrongdoing, you're going to have to pay the price. There's always a cost for everything in this world. So this thought kept creeping to my mind. Just how far you go with these spirits before we start paying the price.
I had a meeting with him last week. I couldn't believe what he said to me. Here, take the contract signature, please. You can have it all, but you know your soul. I'm a keep. Bet like, yeah. You know it comes in threes. Bet on my demons. I'm the only one who sees. His question was like, how far can you go with the spirits until you start paying the price? How far can they help you till it is time for you to start paying the price? Right? Let's go back.
So it made you just a little bit nervous.
Oh, yes.
But yet you kept going back.
Oh, there was no way out. Because that's what we're told.
You knew at that time.
Yeah.
So you were moving forward more on fear.
More on fear, yes. Because the high priest said that the master had special plans for us in our lives. And that no one ever went into this society unless they were invited by the spirits. So that was made very clear. And he also expressed to us explained to us the danger of going against the will of the spirits. And he mentioned about this one man and his wife that live in a fireproof building in Montreal. The place burned right down. Wait a minute. He was one of their members that had decided that, well, he wanted to think things over. He was not going to get initiated at a time that the spirit said he would like him to be initiated into the society.
So in reality, Roger, you were chosen by high-powered demon spirits to be a part of their human, special, privileged group.
You see, these people in Montreal, the society, like the priest mentioned, there's thousands of spirit worshippers in only different societies of spirit worshippers in this world. But he says we are the elite. We know the real truth about the master and his angels. And they are not hideous-looking beings. They are gorgeous creatures. And from the paintings that they had on the wall of the walls of that worship room, they were unique beings. Especially there was a painting full of
full-length
full-length painting of the fallen Lucifer above his altar. And that was very fascinating. Because he looked like a man of great intellect, high forehead, the way that he looked with his eyes, the way he had the eyes looking. It gave you a depth of perception of somebody that is very, very knowledgeable and powerful. Yeah.
So Roger, this high priest that you talked about, he is the one that ushered you down into the worship room.
Mm.
Was he also the one that led out in the praise sessions that you talked about?
Yes, and he had an assistant also, another priest.
Okay. Now, when you would go to these praise sessions, what kinds of things happened at those sessions?
Well, there's a lot of success stories.
Positive mental attitude kinds of things?
Well, yes, a lot of success stories.
Yeah, I'm sorry. When you say success stories, man, the only thing that comes to my head, right, is a pyramid scheme, bro. And then it hit me, I'm like, yo, pyramid scheme. And then, yo, the $1 has a pyramid in it, and then it has like 13 steps going up. And I'm thinking like, oh, the pyramid actually symbolizes the Illuminati, right? It's crazy, man.
The masters has done this for me and not for me. I remember one lumber dealer, he had like half a dozen different operations in province of Quebec, and everything that he touched seemed to turn to money, and he was telling about it. And then there's this other person that was a clairvoyant that would work only for the wealthy people, only for the super wealthy. He says, I have the know-how, they have the means, let them pay. So he advised in business transactions. They would come to him and say, listen, I look at this deal that I might get, this factory or whatever it is, because this person was interested in industrial real estate, see. And he would talk to the spirit, and then the spirit was audible to him. See, you could hear the spirit talk to him, but the man did not hear. So the spirit was
Bro, this is the same thing that Chris Brown said. I'm the only one who sees them. And he just said these spirits are only audible to one person. The one
just talk to him, but the man did not hear.
Let's go back to Chris Brown. So he says, had a meeting with the devil last week, couldn't believe what he said to me. Here's the contract signature, please. You can have it all, right? But you saw I'm a kid, bet like, yeah, it comes in threes. Battling with my demons. Now, think about this. Battling with my demons, I'm the only one who sees. Remember what this guy is saying.
And he would talk to the spirit, and then the spirit was audible to him. See, you could hear the spirit talk to him, but there
is your answer. The spirit is audible to him, but Chris Breezer was saying, I'm the only one who sees them. I'm the only one who sees the spirits. Bro, that's crazy, man. That's crazy, man. Man, we're gonna stop right here, and then we're gonna have another part 3, because I think I don't want these videos to be way too long. Anyway, it is what it is, man. I'll see you on the next one. Hope you enjoyed this one. Boom.